Morning. Good morning. Sawatdee Ton Chow, everybody. How's everybody doing out there? It's a nice sunny day today. It hasn't gotten extremely hot yet. That'll be a few more hours from now. But anyway, today we have a little something. We've talked about this before, and that's whether or not Thailand is getting just too hard for people to stay here. I see this all over the place. I don't want to go to Thailand anymore. It's too hard, man. I can't. I was going to live there, but not now. Things are changing there. And I'm like, really? What's changed? What's changed? I mean, if you're a tourist, okay. If you're an expat, what has changed? And yeah, okay, so maybe now you have to follow the rules. And in the past, you didn't, and people don't like that. So that's something, I mean, I hear this all the time. Thailand is getting harder to live in. There's more rules. There's the costs are going. Oh, it's getting expensive. In some areas, yes, it is expensive. In other areas, listen, our rent hasn't gone up in probably 10 years. You know, um, so I'm not complaining. Electricity's a bit more expensive. Food's more expensive. But the other day, 2 times in a row, I got milk for 93 baht instead of 100 baht. I saved 14 baht altogether. So things are changing, but they're not always for the worst. And Thailand is still a great place to live. Now, Thailand is a bit overdone, um, but I still hear the same tone from people. And their attitude is, "Hey, screw Thailand. I'm going to go to Cambodia." Go. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I don't care. I really don't care. You want to go to Cambodia, you want to go to Indonesia, you want to go to Germany, you want to go wherever you want to go. Have a good life. That's all. Because I don't care about anybody else but myself when it comes to that kind of thing. Now, I hope everybody has a good experience, and I do care. But when it comes down to the bottom line, it's all up to you, man. It's up to you where you go, what you do. Oh, Thailand's going to screw me over. You know, uh, I don't really agree. I'll be honest. I don't agree it's gotten that much harder. I think it's just difficult. Now, in some rare cases, maybe. But in most cases, uh, people either either stay or they can't or don't want to abide by whatever the rules are. And the rules here are not the same as the rules in Australia or the US or Ecuador or Panama or wherever. The rules are for the country. They're not for you. You just have to follow them. And that's that's the bottom line. And if you don't want to follow it, I mean, I don't really, like I said, I don't really care. Does it really matter? No, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. You know, should it care to you? Should you care about what other people are doing? No, it doesn't matter. Listen, don't believe any of the BS. Now, I talk about the banks sometimes. Oh, they're locking my account. They're freezing my account. They're doing this. They're doing that. Most of the time, they're not doing anything. They're protecting themselves because you forgot to give them your updated address or you've got a different visa now. So, okay, now you got a tourist visa. You've had a tourist visa. You've been living here on a tourist visa. You got a tourist visa. They don't want to let you have a bank account. So they close your account. They freeze your account. Okay, so what's the problem? If you want to live here, don't live here on a tourist visa. It's very simple. So, and I had a guy, he's a member of the channel. And he's, I would say, he's a rather esteemed member of the channel. He used to live in China, and now he's lived here for something like 8 years. And he wrote me, "Hey, they froze my account." And I said, "Well, you're going to need to go in, give them whatever they want." And he did. And guess what? They unfroze his account. It had to do with, I think it was his address. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. It's been a couple of weeks. But it had to do with his address. I believe it was his address, and, all this kind of things. And that was the only reason they froze his account. Now, I will say I went into a place uh, and I said to them, "Hey, I'd like to open a bank account here." My wife has an account there. And I thought, well, we both need to we should use the same bank. I mean, I have all kinds of banks. We don't really mingle our money or funds or anything like that. But I thought, oh, well, maybe and I want to see how easy it is. So I go in, and immediately I was told, no, 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 you don't have a work permit. You can't get a bank account. I said, okay. I walked outside. I made a phone call. I spoke to the head office, and I said, I'd just like to know your policy on foreigners opening bank accounts in Thailand. Do they have to have a work permit? Because I've not had a work permit in probably 12 years. How can I have a work permit? I don't work. They said, oh, 1 minute, 1 minute. And they go and they check. All right, so I got a little something different today. I got an actual cup of coffee. And I made sure, there were three kinds of coffees they can make from what the bags that they have. They're all fresh. And it's a light blend instead of a dark. Instead of being dark, which I usually get. I like the darker blends most of the time. Darker coffee. So I'm going to try this. It's from the drip, just like I have at home. So I'll try this in a minute. But anyway, getting back to the topic, all these people, you look online. Oh, I'll never go to Thailand again. I don't want to go to Thailand. Well, then don't come. What's so different? You know, the last time I was in, I see these things, and it's designed for most people to get clicks. That's what it's for. If you see somebody on Instagram or TikTok, which I don't even look at, or Facebook, or any of these things, or YouTube in short, and they're saying, "Oh, I got ripped off," or "Oh my God, look at Suvarnabhumi, how crowded it is. I can't believe I waited here 4 hours." It's all bullshit. 90% of it is bullshit. So don't believe it. And you don't have to believe me. Just because I've been here a long time, as I've been told numerous times, just because you've been here a long time doesn't mean you know everything. No, I don't. Like about the education system. Right, I got kids. I don't know just only about my kids and their education. I researched everything. Not only that, I have a lot of friends that have kids, and I know what's going on with their kids in the public school system and the private school system. I mean, really. So there are certain things that I know about, and just because I've been here, that's all. It's just because I'm on the ground every single day, going through different situations. It doesn't mean, oh, I'm so smart and I've learned all this and I'm the guru. No, that's not what it means. Anyway, I'll get back to this in a minute. That's the first taste. I've got a few things to talk about before we really get into it, but let me read some of this stuff here. does that have to do with the price of tea in China, Robert? Seriously. What kind of shoes do you typically mostly wear there? Sandals only? Tennis shoes? I believe they're called trainers now. But I'm wearing trainers right now. I've worn sandals and flip flops and things like that. Beach sandals, Rip Curl and Billabong and Hang Ten, all these different kinds of brands from the beach. I've worn sandals, and I don't really have any sandals that I like right now. I used to wear flip flops every single day. And the reason I don't now is because of my feet. Because I had plantar fasciitis in my right foot like 12 years ago. And I went every day for a year to physical therapy, and they really worked on my foot. And it took a year, but my foot was better, and I was able to do things. I went on that walk in Upham, which I got a little story about that. But I went on that trek in Upham, 17 kilometers, and my foot started really hurting. And I was like, man, I hope I can make it. My foot hurts, And the next day, my foot really hurt. But I was like, all right, I'm going to get through this. And so I started looking around, and you know what? I had a pair of trainers, and I looked up on ChatGPT, and ChatGPT recommended a few kinds of shoes for me. And one of the shoes that I have is one of the ones they recommended, which I'm wearing right now. And the other one is, I like them a lot. I forget what they're called, but it's a Asics brand. And I bought it right off of Asics, and they're fabulous, and they really help support my feet, so I don't really I feel my foot right now a little bit. This is my shoe right now. Okay? No, the trainers don't get way too hot. And sometimes, I just put some baby powder in there, and I don't wear any socks, but most of the time I do. I used to have some Birkenstocks. I've had two pair of Birkenstocks in the last, say, 10 years, and they were good. But honestly, I'd rather have a pair of trainers for 7,000 baht than a pair of Birkenstocks. It's a little light, but it's not bad. My feet don't sweat that much, man. I don't get foot sweat. I don't have stinky feet. I'm not one of those kind of guys. I don't know why. Um, I don't get stinky feet. I don't get stinky armpits. I just don't stink. I don't know what it is. Once in a great while, I'll smell a little something. I'll be like, I'll smell a little tinge. But that might have been because I've been out sweating all day long. Anyway, let's get back to this here. You know what? 1 second here. I got to do this here. All right, here we go. Super chats, 40 baht and more. That's the goal. 40 baht, what's that? It's about $1.45 or something like that. Anyway, I'm set for shoes, and I'm going to buy probably another 2 or 3 pairs in the next year, um, just to help with the ones that I just got. And then I got like 2 pairs of shoes. I want to get a pair of good sandals, and then I want another pair. Anyway, right now, let's see here. Exchange rate, it's a weekend, 31.9450. So it's under 32. I got a feeling it's going to vacillate between right about what we have here maybe between 31.8 and about 32.2, somewhere in that neighborhood. But whatever. Listen, I'm okay with this. It's right about 32. I'm good. I'm happy. Air quality 73, which is moderate, not that great. Temperature right now is 89 degrees or 32 Celsius. The high is 97 today, which is 36. Low is 85, which is 29. And the feel like temperature right now is 94 degrees, which is 35 Celsius. It doesn't really feel all that hot out. I don't know why. Maybe because I've been on the motorcycle for a while. I went somewhere else today. I was going to go to Starbucks today. Not for the coffee necessarily, but I decided not to go. The reason that I was going did not manifest itself there until later today, so I went, I'm going to go to the mall. I didn't want to drink any Starbucks coffee. Humidity is 72%, and it's going to be sunny probably until the middle to end of next week. All right, so things that I wanted to talk about. I think because it's so hot, it's time for us to get our air conditioning units worked on by the aircon people and have them do a little maintenance on them and see what they can do to make sure that they get it to where it's as cold as it can be, because it really is brutally hot. And who knows, maybe we'll get another air conditioner. I'm not sure. We may buy a place down the street. I'm not really sure what we're going to do. There are a couple places down the street that are pretty good places. And then, we've got the place. I told my wife, I said, I don't know that we should get anything else. I'm leaning like, maybe. But the thing is, we got the house in the south. I'm like, I'd rather just get a place by the beach. And we can spend a lot more time down in the south. And we'll spend a little bit of time here. We got some things to take care of here, but I don't know. We'll see how things go in the next couple of weeks. We're supposed to get our chickens in. It was supposed to be tomorrow, but it's going to be the 25th when they're delivered. So, and it's, I don't know. It's 100 chickens, I think, with all the feed and everything. And it works out to 50,000 baht, 45,000. That's with feed. You have to buy the feed, and the feed is something like 50. Is it? Not 55, I forget what it is, but the feed is more than the chickens. So that ought to tell you something. Now, yesterday I went to La Crabata. I just thought, I go to coffee shops. It's like I come here, I go to all these coffee shops, I'm like, I want to go somewhere different, And I tried a lot of the ones, and I don't feel like going down to the Chao Phraya to find something new down there. I just don't want to do it. I mean, I've tried damn near every coffee shop in Bangkok. I've been to it. And so I decided to go back to this place that I was thinking of because the guy uses the rope espresso maker, which I use. It's a manual espresso maker. And it's called Smell Dream Coffee. I don't know how he came up with the name, but if you're ever in the area and you've got an hour or so to kill, go to the Talat Huatake and go to the back of this little kind of market. The market is actually in front of it. In the back is it's kind of like an artsy kind of market. That's Talat Huatake. Go back there. Go in the back. I think it's the back right corner, or front right corner. If you right on the canal, just walk around. You'll find it. Okay, it's called the Smell Dream Cafe, and the guy's a nice guy. His wife is very nice. They're nice people, but that's neither here nor there. Their coffee is very good, and the guy is so knowledgeable about coffee. He remembered me. I've been there twice. This is the third time. And he remembered me, and he goes, have you ever been to Upang? And I go, I just came from Upang. And so then he's like, Tilasu Waterfall. And he goes, behind that. And I go, yeah, I know. There's another one. I want to do that maybe little while. I said, but I need to see how my foot holds up. He said, oh, no, I can drive there. And I said, I really want to walk. I want to try to do it. But he was like, okay, just get a hold of me if you want to go. We'll go anytime you want, because he has his own coffee and all this other kind of stuff. But the nice thing is that his coffee shop is right on the canal, the Kong Prawait Buriram. That's the name of the canal. It's the Prawait Buriram Canal. And this place is right on it, so you can sit there and you're just looking at the canal and seeing boats go by and stuff. It's nice. Okay, and one more thing, and I have to tell you this because I thought it was fun. I saw it. I was kind of disgusting. A couple of days ago, I come into the mall, and I go to the grocery shop, and I'm like, I got to take a leak. So, I know if I'm going to the grocery, there's a restroom in the back next to the grocery. So I go in, and as soon as I walk in the door, I turn, and there's a big old white ass staring at me. And I just go, no way. And there's a kid there. He's about 15 or 16, big old guy. I mean, like, we'll say he was kind of chubby. He was rather large, with the big old butt. He's got his pants and his underwear down around his ankles. And he's pissing at the stand-up pisser. And I didn't know what to do. Fortunately there was a stall open. Because he's standing at the stand-up toilets. And I see that, and I go, oh, whoa. And I look at it and go, no. And then I walk right into the stall. And I was like, I thought it was a man at first, because he was so big. And then, I finished my business that I didn't want to do at the stand-up stall. And I walked outside, and it's a kid. He's like 15 or 16. Goofy look on his face. And I'm like, he's waiting for his mother or something. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm like, didn't they teach him to, like, you don't have to pull your... it was strange. It was so strange. Anyway, in case you don't know by now, my name is Scott, and I'm an American. And yes, I've been here for several years. Almost half my life now. And I've been on YouTube for about 13 of those years, doing videos and live streams about Thailand, Southeast Asia, and other expat destinations. And I hopefully will find out if I'm going to the U.S. sometime this week. I'd like to go. Even if my wife has to pay $5,000 for her ticket in her system, I'm like, well, listen, we'll just meet each other. That's fine. You go there, you do your thing, and then we'll meet each other in Miami, and we'll pick you up from the airport or whatever. I'll just go. But I don't really want to pay more than about, 1,400 US. You're paying more than that, it just seems like it's a bit of a waste to go for a week or something. Anyway, if you like the content, the streaming content or the video content, please click like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, so you don't miss any upcoming videos or live streams. Everything is down in the description. There's a lot of information in the description. You can get a consultation, paid consultation. Just email me at americaninbangkok@gmail.com. I got books down in the description. And that's about it. Okay? Now, just because people are saying that, oh, there he is. We start talking about poop, and he's out, man. Jim, how you doing? Good day. I get my AC service mid-March every year. Hope those chickens are a good distance from the house. This thing, yes, they are. We're aware of things, my friend. We are aware. Chickens are about 2/3 of the way back from the house, and it's several minutes to walk there. And also, they shouldn't stink that much because the rice husk should absorb most of the things. I've never seen that. I've never seen anybody pull their pants down all the way. And okay, I can understand if maybe they fell down. But like for your underwear to go all the way down and you're standing there with your I don't feel like showing everybody. I don't listen. I got a nice ass. I admit it. I don't want to show everybody my ass. I don't need to. For what? What do I get out of it? When I take a dump, I take all my clothes off at home. Well, I usually only take a dump at home. I will not take a dump here. And I've been in a position where I had to go. And Alex told me where to go, and I used it, and then I haven't had to use it again. And, you know, I had water, I had spray. There's only one bathroom that has spray, and I think it's upstairs on the second floor or something like that. Has been miserable up here all week. Then last night had huge thunderstorm. My pond water level raised an inch. Well, it's going to, you know, the weather here is a bit iffy, but, you know, whatever. That's how it goes, man, you know. I don't like the heat. I think it's a little bit too much. But all you can do is get in the aircon. And, you know, that's about it. Yeah, well, I don't really rely on the weather apps just because a lot of times they're not right, and especially when it comes to the chance of rain. I mean, if I start seeing some clouds moving in and they're thick, I think, okay, it's probably going to rain. You know. Anyway, costs have gone up in Thailand. There is more attention on immigration simply because they're enforcing the rules now. So maybe the rules still feel unclear or inconsistent, but the way that people talk about it, it's like they think Thailand is this impossible place to live. Like, oh my God, I can't live there. It's so difficult. Well, then don't come here. Where are you going to go, though? Okay, I can go to you know, one guy said, oh, I can go to Cambodia. It's so easy there. Okay, I understand it's so easy. And Cambodia is a wonderful place. It's a nice place. However, it doesn't match up to Thailand. I hate to tell you. There's no way that it's even close as a place to live. It's not even close. Okay? Maybe in another 10 years. I was the one who said, in 10 years, Cambodia is going to be a different place. In 10 years, Thailand's going to change. It has. I said that a long time ago. Now, if I had to live in Cambodia, would I? Yeah, I would. You know, I would definitely live there. No, I mean, I got a friend that lives there. He's not broke. He does all right. And, you know, he stashes the cash. He doesn't usually do much. He doesn't go out. You know, once in a while, maybe he needs to get his weasel greased. And, you know, he shells out a little money and he's fine. But most of the time, you know, he just does his thing and chills out. Maybe he goes on the river and has a drink or something, you know, and he's got a decent life there. And I understand it's nice. And the visa system is very easy. Now it's easy. And I believe me, I consider, hey, can I get a passport in Cambodia? How can I do this? Can I go about doing this? And I thought to get a Cambodian passport is not that big of a deal, even though it's not that simple. You got to shell out a lot of money. But to get the passport is not really, it's not really the kind of thing that's going to do much for you, other than give you another option to travel. But to travel on a Cambodian passport, you're going to need different things. To travel on a Thai passport, you know, I mean, I told my wife, I said, listen, if we go the way that I want, we got to stop in Canada, then we'll stop in the U.S. in Miami for a while, and then we'll go to Dominican Republic. And she said, I don't want to stop in Canada. I have to get a visa for that. I go, you don't need a visa. You need a transit approval, which is very simple once you get a U.S. visa. Now, she's already had a U.S. visa, but it expired, and you can't just extend it. So she's got to get it again. And I said, well, maybe it's going to be more difficult now, but you got all the money, you got everything that you can show, you've got a job, you've got kids, and you don't need my help. You can do it all on your own. So we'll see what happens. But one thing I miss every time going back to the States is no bum gun. Well, that's funny because you can get portable bum guns, but also my buddy in Ecuador had bum guns installed in the U.S. and in Ecuador. And he's got, I think, 6 bathrooms in his house in Ecuador. And every single one it's like a bidet. And it's actually, I would say it's better than a bum gun. You can control the strength. You can control all kinds of things. And as far as the Philippines goes, listen, I like the Philippines too. I like it, and I could live there. Yes, I could if I had to, but I don't want to. I don't want to be around all the poverty and all that. I don't really see that much poverty here anymore unless I want to. And for all the people who think that Thailand is so broke and so poor and, oh my God, we're starving here. There's not that many starving people at all here. Now, there are poor people. I understand that, but there are poor people everywhere. And Thailand is, 71.5 million people. Oh, God. You're dreaming, dude. You got all these fantasies. That's the thing about you. I have a feeling you may never even come here. You sound like another guy that I know, but used to talk a good game, and he was on the channel for I don't know how many years. He used to talk a good game, and he never came over here. Yeah, I'll be over there in a year. Never came. Anyway, let us continue. Immigration is getting too difficult. That's what I always hear. The rules are always changing. You never know what's going on. It's not cheap anymore. Well, that is true. I always say it's not cheap. It's cheaper. The English is good there, but the communication is really hard. Oh, Jesus Christ. So you want to move to another country, and they don't speak your English, your language. They don't speak English, and you're irritated because you might have to learn the language and you don't really want to. Oh my God. Those are most of the things that people say. And if you listen to that, you think Thailand is just plummeting. It's going down the toilet. And that's just not true. So people see things in the news about immigration. Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard. Oh my God, I can't do it. Wait a minute. You got all kinds of options. You got the retirement visa, the marriage visa, the elite visa, you can get a work permit, you can get a B visa, which is working for a company. You can get an LTR, you can get a DTV, and those are not perfect. But then if you want to stay and you're young, you can get an ED visa. You got choices. And of course, there's some hoops. It's not perfect. But to say that it's too difficult, well, then you really don't want to live in a different country. What you want is you want somebody to kiss your ass and welcome you with open arms. Please come to my country. And yet you don't want to have to jump through any hoops. You don't want to have to, I got to fill this other paper out. Oh my God, I can't believe I have to do all this. This is but listen, I got a theory, okay? And First of all, I think nowadays most people are a bunch of pussies. Young people, they're a bunch of pussies. And it's not that I think I'm such a tough badass. Oh, that's not what I think. But I'm a boomer. And in my day, people didn't think they were entitled to everything. And that everybody's going to work for them unless you're paying them a salary. They didn't think that's just not how it was. And so people are entitled and they think they should be able to come into any country they want and they should not have to work for it. And now it's a lot more structure. And some people, they just don't like structure. And, you know, I've said it a million times already. And that is that I never forget that one guy. And Billy, I know you remember him. He said, "Oh my God, I'm getting kicked out. I'm getting kicked out of Thailand." I said, "Really? I thought everything was good, man." You know, man, he was a bit of a pain in the ass a little bit, but, you know, whatever. I got two people that I use as case studies, if you will, for people that really came, three people that came here and they've made it, they've integrated, they've built themselves lives here. One is Jono before he came, and he talked to me numerous times. Two is Jim, right? Jim has really put the work in. And three is Bruce, okay? These people have put their time in, their effort in, and they don't expect anybody to give them anything. So this guy is crying about how they're going to kick him out. They're going to kick him. I said, "What do you mean they're kicking you out?" "Well, they told me I can't keep coming in on a tourist visa." And I said, "What do you mean?" "Yeah, I can't believe it. They're telling me this is the last time they'll let me in." And, you know, I said to him, "Well, why don't you get a retirement visa? That's a proper visa." He goes, "I got a tourist visa. That's a proper visa." I go, "No, it's not a proper visa. It's a proper visa if you're a tourist." Now, what's a tourist? Is a tourist somebody who lives in a country for 3 years? No. And I said, "Do you want to get a retirement?" "No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get a retirement." Probably because he couldn't. He didn't have the money. He didn't have the know-how. I don't know what it was. And never heard from the guy again. It's been many years now. Never heard from him. Never seen anything in the Thai genre, if you will. And I don't really look that much. And, you know, I will say this, that I see some things every once in a while from like expat gurus, and they're all saying, "Oh, Thailand is so dangerous now. You got to be careful there. You got to really watch it in Thailand. They'll run you over. They'll kill you. They'll do all kinds of things to you." And I'm like, "You've never been here." And I see in the comments, "You've never been here to Thailand, have you?" And the guy goes, "Well, no, I haven't, but..." So you don't know shit. And that happens all the time. All right, let me read some of these here. 50s here. Oh, that's nice. Rainy, 35 mile an hour wind. Gusts, late cold front, crappy, shitty weather. That sounds pretty good to me. Stay inside the house, enjoy the cool weather. Scott, if there is one thing I don't want it to be, I don't want it's going to Cambodia and being like Colonel Kurtz, that's for sure. Well, that's good. I don't know, you know. I just take it for what I see. Age of entitlement, yes. Most guys that choose to live in Cambodia over time, and it's almost always related to money and visa. Usually it's the visa. I don't know that it's always the money. Because with the money, it's sometimes hard to tell. Some people will be straight with you and tell you, "Oh, I only got $800 a month." Well, guess what? It might be a good place for you. And I remember that I used to go there a lot. And there were times I would go there for the fun of it. This is 20, to 25 years ago when Sharky Bar was big and it was happening. I don't even know if Sharky's. Let me see something. Let's see. I guess it is. Oh, there's no indication that it's active. Let me see here. Oh, here it is, and it says it's open. It says it's closed, but I don't know. Anyway, I used to know the owner of Sharky Bar, and he hired a guy to work for him. He had several guys working for him as like manager, and they get $1,000 a month. And I would say to him, "Is that enough money for you? It doesn't seem like that much." And this is 20, 25 years ago. And they would say, "No, it's not enough. If I want to live in a place, it's going to cost me $300-400 to stay in a decent place. Food, electric, phone, everything else. Yeah, okay, I got some money left over, but I got to pinch my pennies. You know." Let me see here. I'm waiting to what? I'm waiting to see if I made the list. It's gonna be true. So yo yo, hey fire dude. Um, I don't know, and I don't think a lot of people really know about the money because I know some people that moved there. They got quite a bit of money, and my buddy, he doesn't have quite a bit. He's got a fair bit, and he's managed to save a nice chunk of money. But he can work from anywhere, and he chooses to be there instead of here. I will walk through pretty much any neighborhood in Thailand with my wife at 3 a.m. and not feel threatened. I think several of the neighborhoods in Las Vegas. Dude, um, first of all, you shouldn't be walking around with your wife at 3 a.m. in the morning in most places. It doesn't matter where it is. Here, too. Someone needs to get you started. Well, thank you very much there, Robert. I do appreciate that. Yeah, that's always nice. Very nice. So thank you. Joke me to you. Um, I understand what you're saying because a couple times I've gone out with the wife and it's like it's like 2 o'clock, 2:30. We closed the bar. That happened. I don't know. Maybe it was 6 months or a year ago. She's hammered, and we're out, and it's late, and I don't feel threatened or anything. Not in Thailand. I don't. And only one time did I feel a little bit nervous, and that was coming from the the was it the train? No, the bus station. I can't remember which bus station. Maybe it was Saitai or something like that. And it was late. It was like 2:30 in the morning, and there were some guys sitting out. And I thought to myself, there's three of them, man. And I'm like, I hope I don't have any problems. And I walked by and they didn't give me any problems, but I kind of felt like on edge a little bit. But other than that, I didn't feel any problems. And it's a lot safer in Thailand than it is in the United States. And I don't care what anybody says. A guy the other day was like, "Oh, I got this stolen and that stolen and this stolen and that stolen in Thailand." Well, then you're probably a dumb shit. Seriously. You leave enough stuff out, or you leave stuff that's valuable out, and people are going to steal it. Now, in Thailand, they generally don't. But sometimes people do. And, people steal things anywhere, all over the world. There are a lot of YouTubers that can live anywhere in Southeast Asia wise and yet stay in Cambodia. Yeah, I know that, and I think that's true. Uh, there are YouTubers that couldn't make it anywhere else because they're on a shoestring, but that too. And there are some that stay in like Pattaya. Um, you know, I don't know that it's more expensive. I think it's a different route, and it could be, but it's not that much. It's not that much more. If you really you want to look for a good ticket, you can probably get a ticket for $100 round trip, $150. You know, I like that. I love Cambodia. I think it's a great place. I love the Philippines. I just don't want to be in a shitty neighborhood in the Philippines, which I've done before. I don't want to be in that kind of an environment. Yeah, exactly. I always check my six. You got to be careful anywhere. I don't have a statistics, but I believe a lot of crime is from or on the crime. Yeah, whatever. I mean, that might be true. And the only problems I've really ever had, I can't say ever, but most of the problems that I've had in Thailand have been with foreigners. And it only happens once in a while because now I just don't care. And they're never going to get my money unless I want them to have the money and I give it a free will. Other than that, what are they going to get from me? You know. Now, the system is a bit wishy-washy, and I concur. I do agree with this. Thailand is not always clear. You can go to one immigration office and they'll tell you one thing, and then you go somewhere else and they'll tell you something different because the rules are flexible and the policies are kind of open-ended. They're meant to be that way so that the immigration officers have discretion. They have some discretion. Um, if it's written and it's fixed and it's consistent, that's great. But the flexibility is one of the things that helps people be able to live here. Okay, maybe it hurts some people too. Maybe they have a hard time. Well, guess what? It's like corruption. When corruption works in your favor, listen, I've been on the receiving end of some deals where I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. This is awesome. I can't believe this happened. And I'm like, I'm not saying nothing. But then I've also been on some where I was like, well, this sucks. And I had to negotiate to get to where I was like, all right, well, this is okay. You know, things are not rigid. Everything is not locked and fixed. And you must do it this way or else. Now, they may tell you that you want to try to do that, but then in the end they go, oh, no problem. You know, but saying that the whole system is broken is just ridiculous. Okay, it's really different, and this is not the United States, and things don't operate the same way. And that's one thing people just don't get. You want to do something here, it's about who you know and the kind of relationship you have. That's what it's about. It's not about, I'm going to pay this much money and you better listen to me. It's completely different. Apples and oranges. There's very few good neighborhoods in the Philippines. Step outside the bubble and you're deep in shit. Yeah, I mean, I would say if you live in the Philippines, the best way to get by is not to have too much expensive stuff, which is why I always say you keep the money in the bank or banks, you keep the money there, and everything else you have, like if we move to the south or we build a little house in the back of our place or something like that, the only thing I'll bring, maybe I'll bring a camera or two, bring a laptop, and my clothes. That's it. I don't need much more. I'm not the guy who I've got to have every kind of cologne come with me, and I need 3 different kinds of antiperspirant, and you know, listen, give me a toothbrush, a toothpaste, a little antiperspirant, you know, maybe a razor. I think I shaved once when I was down in the south, and I just shaved this morning, so I look halfway presentable. You know, I think so too. There are probably none in Mindanao. No truly safe. Have you ever been to the Philippines, Robert? I gotta ask you again. You've been all okay. I've been all over the Philippines too. You have. Oh, okay. But you haven't been to Thailand, or you've been here a little bit. I forget. I can't keep it straight, man. I'm sorry. Must be past 9:44. Yes, it is. No, you haven't been to Thailand. Okay. Well, you don't know what you're missing, buddy. If you like the Philippines, you'll really like here. Most crime in Thailand is Thai on Thai. It's still low comparatively, but it's not mostly Farangs. Thailand doesn't have many Farangs. No, it's a very small percentage. Now, Farang on Farang in tourist areas, that might be true. Like if somebody's going to steal something, it might be another Farang that's stealing from you. But most of the time, it's Thais. Now, Farang on Farang in tourist areas, yes, that happens. But a lot of times it's the Thais who are doing things like, jet ski scams, temple scams, all these other kind of bullshit things that nobody in their right mind should ever fall for. No, it's a very small percentage. Anyway, let me get back to this. I never get through it. The other thing is the complaining about the cost of living, and you hear this all the time. It's not that cheap compared to 20 or 30 years ago. Well, I'm here for more than 30 years. And I used to buy fried rice for 15, 20 baht. Fried rice with an egg for 20 baht. Now it's 50 or 60 baht. Maybe in some places you get it for 35 or 40, but that means it's at least doubled or tripled in the price. So it's gone up. But show me a place in the world where prices haven't gone up over 30 years. Everything's gone up. And if you compare Thailand to the US, the UK, Australia, wherever, and you tell me it's more expensive than there, generally it's not. Some things may be more expensive here, but that's because they're importing them and they assess duties. I think he meant the Farang on Farang. I don't think he meant like all the crime was the foreigners. That's not true. Most of the crime is ties on ties. But when it comes to foreigners committing crimes, they're doing it in places like Pattaya, Chiang Mai, Bangkok. Well, now it's they're smart. They changed they've got different names like DIY. That doesn't the Christianity thing. Find a chick who's not Christian. Um, some of the beaches are very nice. But yeah, I mean and that was the thing that I said was yeah, some of the beaches are really nice. There are some nice places there. Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much, there, Rechor. Best thing I did was make friends with an immigration captain. No bribes, just consistency. She makes sure the requirements are the same as when I renew and shuts down idiots asking for silly and excessive paper. Oh, well, that's nice. I I have the at the time. I don't know what he is now because I don't talk to the guy because I'm not calling in any favors. But he was the number two guy in immigration. I had the number two and number. I still have their cards. The number two and number three guys in immigration at the time, and this is probably 10 years ago. I have their cards laminated. They gave me laminated cards, and I have them. So if anything really, really bad happened, I could say, "Oh, listen, can one of these guys maybe help me out?" But when you get help, sometimes it really depends. But the kind of help you get, you call in a favor, you might owe a favor. Now, if you're just making friends with somebody over time, that's a different story. They might sometimes there's decent people out there, man. You know, but people want to get out of Thailand. I'm sure the banking BS will cause them. Well, really, what kind of BS is it? You want to talk about the banking BS? Most of it has to do with people who they've done something and they just don't know it. They don't have the right address. Their SIM card's not the same. They got a different visa than they used to have. Their passport number changed. All kinds of things. Really, I've got 7 accounts here, and not one of them have I had a problem because I keep up with everything. When they ask me for something, I do it. I'm always looking at. One thing you got to do is keep track of your finances. Some great beaches in the Philippines, but the remote facilities are usually subpar and/or the value ain't there. Yeah, but the beaches are good, which is what I like. So, only friends over time. I'm very careful. The words like favor are never used. Yeah, look, you need a favor. I've had the greatest immigration officer. She always made the process a lot easier and quicker. Unfortunately, she's issued a visa to go to Thailand where she found a boyfriend. See, things end sometimes. Maybe you tell her, "Do you have a friend here I can talk to?" Didn't know she worked at immigration until we ran into her one time. Oh, well, that's nice. That's why you be nice to people because you don't know who they are and what they can do and what they can't do. You have no idea. I've met people at the park over here, Brook. I've met people over there. And then later on, I've gone on their. I met a girl once. Now she lives in Holland. I met her probably 25 years ago, and she was on Facebook. And now she's in Holland, and she used to talk to me all the time. And my wife goes, "Is that chick after you?" You know, her colleagues are good to me too. Banks are out of control. Saying you have not had a problem is great. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, have you had a problem? If you had a problem, what was the problem? Because everybody that I hear about, they don't tell you it was their fault. I'm not saying all of them, but 90% of them are guys who they just don't fucking do everything right. They don't do what the requirements are. It's just like going through immigration. So tell me, what else? I mean, if you don't have your phone registered in your name and you're using that phone number, they'll catch you. He's out in he's out in another area. Oh, big fucking deal. Jesus Christ. And you know what you do? If you need to make a transaction, all you do is use the ATM or you go in and you say, I need to make a larger transaction. They'll go, "Oh, can we see the paper for that?" "Oh yeah, I'm buying this car." "Okay, here it is." "Okay, no problem." And then they let you do it. You know why? Because I've done it. And the best thing is I live in a small military town. He knows everyone. I'm nice to random cops. I let them take a picture with my dog and every cop stops to say hi. Oh, Jesus Christ. What fucking workaround? If you need to transfer more than say, listen, I can transfer 500,000 baht with my Bangkok bank. Okay, I can transfer 200,000 with Siam Commercial. I think Corn is 50,000. But you know how often I transfer 50,000? The only transferring I do of 50,000 is into my bank, or 200,000 is into my bank. Yeah, when you go into a immigration office, just wear a pair of jeans or a pair of slacks, a halfway decent pair of shoes, a decent shirt, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, listen, you think every bank is going to let you do whatever you want with your money? You're going to make a $200,000 transaction. They're like, okay, yeah, go ahead, do it, man. They're not. Now I understand. Oh, I got to pay my rent. Maybe I got 60,000 baht a month, 80,000 baht. I know a guy who used to do that. Okay, well there are ways around that, but yeah, okay, you shouldn't have to do that. I agree. But then use a bank that has a higher limit. And you know what? Some of the banks, their limit is not just 50,000. You know, the one guy told me his limit that I talked about earlier said his limit was set down to 20,000. And he went in, provided the paperwork they wanted. The limit was lifted. Jim, I would keep that to yourself. Keep that to yourself, man. Everybody's going to move to Chayapum, try to get the preferential treatment. We have so much stuff going on now. Really, there's so much stuff going on. It's we don't necessarily have the time, or we can't all get together um, as much as we'd like. And that's what it is. It's the logistics of getting our family together and getting everything done at the right time. We have so many things going on now that it's such a pain in the ass. But we do the best we can. And yeah, the automatic limits are based on the frequency of transaction and average transfer amount. Listen, if your average transfer amount is 2,000 baht, and then you're asking for like, oh, can I have a 3 million baht limit today? They're gonna go, why? And you shouldn't have to do that. Oh, it's my money. Well, okay, I get it. But guess what you do? That's the simple truth, Bruce. That is what the truth is. Oh, it's been difficult. Listen, that was something I was going to say. We went out last night. We went to Bio Tower for their buffet at dinner. My wife had 4 coupons for free dinners. Now, it's between 1,350 and 2,000 baht for the dinner, which I don't get it, to be honest. The buffet is decent, and like I said, I've been there like 3 times, and it's okay. But 2,000 is a bit of a stretch, in my opinion. But we go there, and you can't. You only get from. They're only open from 7:15 to 9:15 at night. Yeah, yeah. The view is good. The view is very good there, and that's kind of what you're paying for. You could go up on the rotating top, which we did, and I took video of it, and took photos and stuff, which I've done before. I saw a guy go over the side. I did it live. I don't know if any of you guys remember, but I was there live, and this guy went over the side of the very top, and he said, "I got to go down and clean the windows," and he was like sitting on a plank with ropes, and then he had some things attached to him. But anyway, we went, and the food had been okay before. It was decent. It's a buffet. Come on. So we go last night, and we were all, I don't want to say we're going crazy with the food, but my diet suffered a little bit. And, we had some decent food. It was all right. But that's something like, I'll never do that. But we got our family together. And my wife said, and I told her this was something that, I don't know why I didn't think of it. usually I always think of, hey, let's all watch a movie together or something like that. But she said, we got to all go out once a week. We got to pick a day every week where we go, every month where we go out and we all have dinner together. I'm like, well, we should be doing that at home, but we never do because we're always too busy. We're always doing stuff. I have a life outside of YouTube, believe it or not. I was wondering where the photo. Oh, gonna drop 2K in a meal. I prefer to go to a high quality restaurant, especially. That's what I say. Now, I'll tell you what. I've been to the buffet at Landmark, and that place that was fantastic. That was really good. Really, it was worth the money. But that's 8,000 baht, and I think we got a discount. It was 4,000 that night or something. I don't remember. Anyway, let me get back to this stuff here. Yeah, the one thing that people think is that they're going to come here and live like a king for nothing. That's cliche now. You can live in Thailand for nothing. Really, you're going to spend like $1,000 a month. You're going to be living like a king. No, you're not. You're not going to be living like a king. Listen, I lived off of about almost $7,000 a month before, and I lived pretty damn good. But I had to watch my money still because I was spending. When you have more, you spend more. It's just how it works. And you can save the money, you can be frugal with it, but you're still probably going to spend some more. So you got to really put your expectations in check. And if you think, hey, I'm going to come here and I'm going to spend $1,500, well, tell yourself that maybe for the first 6 months you're not. You're going to spend an extra 20%. You might spend $1,800 every month for the next 6 months. Then you say, I got to get it down to 1,500. Okay, I understand that. Some people they need that 6 months or 3 months or whatever it is to be able to get in the groove. It takes time for people to learn where to get the best deals, where to do things. And that's the thing. I mean, if I come here, I've been to many other groceries in the neighborhood. And to be honest, um, about the only thing that I would get at Macro is stuff like maybe I'll get salmon. Maybe I'll do that today. I don't know. But for the most part, this place has got every other place beat. It's got everything in it. I don't have to go to Central World or to Emportier or to Emporium. The only thing I need to go to Emporium for, and Billy should know this, is what is it, TWR or something like that, the T. Um, yeah, that's about it. They have Macro. Yeah, Macro. Sometimes they have large lotuses, which give you great deals sometimes. I mean, there's plenty of places. The one thing that Thailand is good for is shopping. You can get damn near anything here. I mean, damn near anything. And if you can't, there's always Shopee, there's always Amazon. You can always get it sent in. Listen, I got things sent to me from various locations around Thailand sometimes. I would be like, oh man, I need to get that. And I'd be like, man, they only got it in Phuket or whatever. 3 days later, I got it. The next day I order it, boom, I got it 2 days later. That kind of thing happens. But I need to check. There's a Macro right down the street, and I kind of need to check it out. Maybe that's something I'll do today. I don't know. And one thing I've noticed around this area lately is the number of Burmese people has increased so much. And with the Songkran Festival, listen, man, this place was absolutely packed. I didn't like to be here. I was like, I gotta go. And you go around in the back where the fish are and the parrots are and stuff like that. And I mean, there are groups of, say, 5 and 10 Burmese sitting there, having a coffee or doing whatever they're doing. And then, there's 10 groups of them. There's literally hundreds of them. And I don't mind them. They're cool, doesn't bother me. And I will say that I went on yesterday when I went to, was it yesterday or day before yesterday, when I went to the coffee shop, smelled Dream Coffee in, all the time. I don't use Lazada unless I absolutely have to. I got on the Sydney airport link. Man, I get on there and there are probably 25 Indians on the airport link. Oh, well, nobody else has told me that. You're the only person. I've been talking to people for, for an hour and 15 minutes or so. And nobody said a word. So I don't know what to say. Maybe refresh your browser. I don't know. I know Myanmar is a war zone, and I was going to go there, but I don't think I can find what I'm looking for, which is my grandfather's crash site. So I don't think I'm going to go. And, the last time I talked to my friend there, Nanda, I said, how's everything going there? He goes, it's the same. Sound is a bit off. I thought it was on my end. I don't know what's going on with this microphone. Maybe I need to put it higher up. I don't know. Maybe this is better. What's funny is I'm doing this microphone and I do the exact same thing and record sound and the sound comes out fine. So I don't know. Really, 9 years. Wow. I've been there probably 20 times. I don't know. I don't know what it is, man. I'm not going to try to figure it out. I'm sorry. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I mean, I'm using 5G right now. So maybe the next time I'll use the Wi-Fi. I don't know. I've been all over. I've been to Bagan, been to Mandalay, been to Sitwe. I was in Sitwe and Miaku. I went to Miaku for a couple of weeks. Sitwe. I photographed the Rohingya Muslims. I've been to Ye. I've taken, no, I didn't go there. I went down from, was it Mandalay, all the way to Yangon, and then all the way down south. And I forget the name of that place. There was Ye, and there was another place. I met a nice guy. He was married to a Burmese girl, American guy, and rented a motorbike from him. And he gave me some, I think it was called Mandalay rum, something like that. It was fantastic. We just sat out, me and this German lady and him, we sat out and got drunk together one night. And that was fun. I can't remember the name of that place, but I came in, one time I came in from wherever it was through a place called Kunamran. And I think that was near Kanchanaburi. I'm not sure. Anyway, let me continue. I get off track. The language. People complain about having to learn the language. They don't speak English very well. Well, they don't have to. You think about it. A lot of Thais don't need to speak English that well. Now, if they're working with tourists, okay, granted. But, okay, a lot of their English is good enough. And that's how I look at it. It's good enough. In some places, their English is quite poor, especially the major areas. But guess what? What do you expect it to be like? Most of them are farmers, or they're working there in that area, and they're not working in an international business. So why do they need to learn to speak your language? They don't really. You've got guys who have been here 5, 10, 20 years. and they don't even speak really any Thai. So it's not Thailand's fault. You don't have to be fluent, but if you're going to live somewhere long term, you need to meet them halfway. You need to learn some basics. Sawati kap, sabay na kap, you know, kamyangay bang. You know, you got to learn a few things. Yeah. See, and I always looked at it. I'll tell you one way I looked at women. I looked at it if they were really, really like, I'm so shy. I don't want to speak English. I'm scared of speaking correctly. And they had that attitude. I was like, I don't want them. I don't want to be with them. Well, that's not true. Mostly only Americans speaking, but that's bullshit. What about British? What about Canadians? I mean, yeah, they might speak French, but I mean, like, what about? There's people all over the world that speak English. So you gotta kind of have to meet them halfway. But the thing with the women is that's always how I thought. And when I met my wife, she spoke English. She doesn't speak it. She didn't speak it nearly as good as she does now, but she spoke it pretty well. And I was like, "Oh, your English is pretty good," And she was like, "Oh, your Thai is not so good." She used to tell me, "Oh, your Thai is you speak it like you're a kindergartner." And so I was like, okay. And then she wasn't like scared to learn the language, and I was like, well, that's good. She's not like the fearful type, which I didn't want. I didn't want that kind of bullshit. Now, the people that think that Thailand is becoming difficult, and what it exposes is the lack of planning and the lack of structure, the lack of effort that they want to make, and the costs are lower here. Um, it's more free here in many ways. It's more flexible, and that's the great part. But if you have all these things, don't have any structure, you don't have anything that will help you just continue and to stay strong. Well, then you're not going to make it here, man. And it's very easy here. If you want, you can eat for dirt cheap. Listen, I did the thing. Was it 100 or was it 200 baht? I did it a while ago, and I got sick of the food before I was broke. It was something like if I got to spend $100, 100 baht rather, a day or 200 baht a day on food, can I do it? Yes, I could do it, but I got sick of the food. So you can eat cheap, you can get around fairly cheap. Listen, if I wanted, I don't do it anymore. I just don't do it most of the time. If I wanted, I could go on the Songtao, and it would cost me 8 baht to get to the mall, right? I mean, I could take a Songtao and go a lot of places. It might cost me 20 or 30 baht. Yesterday, what I did was I I took the yellow line, that's the one right here, to the airport link, and I took 2 stops on the airport link. I got off, and then I thought, I'm either going to take a motorbike, a taxi, or a Songtown. So I walked out, and I asked one guy, hey, you go to Huatake, Talat Huatake? No, no, no. I said, well, where's the guy that, he goes, you got to look for the one that goes to Minbury. So then I see on the side, it's in Thai, and I saw, oh, Minbury. I go, all right. So I go over to the guy, hey, you go down to Huatake. Yes. Okay. I jump on. I go there. It's like 15, 20 minutes, 10 miles. Fantastic. Now, on the way back, I was like, I'm taking a taxi. And then all of a sudden, the Songtao pulls up, and I see Minbury. And I go, oh, he was looking at the other direction. I get in there. They take me. I get right back on the airport link, go to the yellow line. I'm like, this is fantastic. Well, actually, I didn't take the yellow line. I paid 44 baht, and it took me home. So you can get around for cheap. You can live without that much pressure, and time just kind of flies by. Now, for some people, this is the problem. Time flies by and they don't do anything. How much would you budget monthly for a couple living in a 20,000 baht Bangkok condo, including travel around Southeast Asia? 115,000 is enough. Yes. I was going to say without the travel, if you wanted to be a little, depending on what you're spending your money on, I was going to say 80,000, but 100,000 probably with a little bit of travel. But it's for two people, so it's a good idea to kind of watch what you spend your money on and note everything for the first couple of months, and then you'll be able to figure out, well, what is it that I need? But that's more than enough. I butcher the language all the time. So do I. Americans are the least language known people from a first world country. It's sad, really. Really? Well, that's funny because I'm not. Honestly, my Spanish would be quite a bit better, and in a couple of months, I would be able to speak decent Spanish. Not great, but it would be decent. It would suffice. So that's three languages, and then I used to speak a little Khmer. I haven't been there in a while, so I don't really. I mean, I learned Russian when I went to Russia a couple times. I learned Chinese when I was there, China. What's that other language that I was thinking of? I don't know. I don't know. I don't find it more difficult at all, provided you make an attempt. Listen, Jono learned to speak Thai online, and he did decent. He learned some basic Thai. And then he just went, listen, I just don't want to put the effort into learning the language and really getting into it. And also learning online from where he was learning and everything like that was kind of like, you got to put some money into it. You got to put the effort into it. I put the effort in, and that's why, you know, generally my language, I get by just fine. And I get people telling me sometimes. I had one the other day. The guy's an asshole. I'll say that right now. He's just an asshole. He's like, you speak your Thai with a sopranos or like a East Coast accent. Well, I'm from the East Coast, and what's funny is that the Thais don't have any problem understanding me. 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I'd say they have no problem understanding me. They understand exactly what I want to say. I want to carry on a conversation with a taxi driver or something like that. It's a piece of cake, man. I go in, the girls the in the grocery store, they carry on conversations with me. If nobody's there in line, they talk to me for 5 minutes, and I understand, and I talk to them, and the cost of living questions are kind of ridiculous. Well, I don't know that they're ridiculous, but I think some people just don't really have a clue on how much it takes here. Try traveling anywhere in USA without a car. You can get pretty much anywhere here using public transportation. It's reasonable price. Yes. I just watched an expat in Lima. One meal he spent $6 and change for a nice big burger and fries and beer. And then he went to a place that was 5 courses at $100 per course, $500. That's about what you spend on a burger here. Well, if you spend a little bit more, actually, you might spend $8, $9, $10 here, and you can get a 5 car. So you can do that here too. couldn't learn anymore because of his hearing. Yeah, yeah. Well, that was a lot of it, but I didn't want to say anything. I can detect a difference in accent, Bangkok speakers and East Coast speakers. Yeah. Well, I'm an East Coast speaker. And because I said, hey, look at my, I got an East Coast accent. Okay, whatever. Listen, let me tell you something. My name's Chuck, and I just don't give a fuck. I don't I don't care about what you think about my language, my skills. I don't care about you think, oh, you've been there for you think because you've been there a long time, you know everything. I don't care. I don't care what you think about me. It's not my job to be concerned about that. You don't count. You're the exception to the rule when it comes to languages. The average American can't. Yeah, I mean, I hear sometimes, I saw some things the other day written about, I think it was education. They're saying, yeah, most Americans are stupid. I'm like, no, you're stupid for generalizing that broadly. Can't hardly speak English anymore. Well, that's kind of true. It's Ebonics. Double negatives using idiots. Double negatives. Double negative using idiots is so common. Same is true in Thailand. Cheap or spending? Yeah. Decent burgers, $10. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that you can go to a place and it's about 270 baht, and you get some fries with it and a drink. Uh, so if you were like, okay, listen, it's 269 baht. Here's 280. Here's 300, whatever. So it's about $10. Like the Thais love to say, up to you. Now that cool. Well, I think it depends on where you're talking about, because there are some areas where their English is abysmal. That's what I'll say. But I still think that most Americans are a lot smarter than they're given credit for. Anyway, people say, I don't have no money. I got no money, man. I ain't got no money. Like, do you even know what that means? Because it's not what you think it means. Anyway, the people who struggle here, it's a combination of all the small things. They don't have a plan for their visa. They don't have any kind of financial structure. They don't have a routine. They don't have direction. And so they blame the country. The only thing you really need to do is make sure you're legal. That's first and foremost. Make sure you're legal here. That's what you got to do. Then you start to understand how things work here. Not how things work back in the U.S. versus here, but how things work here. Then you say, hey, this is how now I've done this, and I did this a few years ago, really, to where I'm completely different now than what I used to be. But you have to adapt instead of trying to fight everything. And you have to have a routine. I have several different routines. I have routines where I don't come here. I have routines where I come here. Um, but you're responsible for everything that happens here. It's you. It ain't Thailand. Oh, Thailand sucks, man. Well, it sucks because of you. It's terrible because of you. Thailand is not for everyone. It never was. Some people will come here and thrive, and others, they realize this place ain't for me. It ain't for me. This isn't for me. But saying that Thailand is just so difficult is not really accurate. Um, it's just not. All right, let me read some of the stuff here because we're getting. I think it's fair to say that general education level in the U.S. has gone down. Times are changing. Proper English is changing. Depending on your generation, I don't like, but it is what it is. I didn't do nothing. I ain't done nothing, man. You can barely understand average Zoomers with the way they talk these days. Thinking about going to Thailand sometime this year or next year. I need to know what I'm doing. I might stay for a month just to see. I'm going by myself. Thank Thanks for this love. You're welcome. Good luck. So, the thing that Thailand is right now, and this is what really gets me, Thailand is less tolerant of people who are gaming the system. They don't want people gaming the system, with like a tourist visa. I'm going to get a tourist visa and extend for a month. People are bitching now because Thailand has talked about changing from 60 days to 30 days. They haven't even done it yet. And people are bitching and moaning about it. It's not as easy to stay there as it used to be. Cartman? Dude, even if you stay for 30 days, you can extend for 30 days if you really want to. You can stay for 6, you can stay for 2 months. Now, how many people are going to stay here for 2 months? What percentage of all the people are going to stay here for 2 months? If you're going to stay for longer than that, then get the proper visa. Now, the costs are going to be higher, but they're higher everywhere. And I think if you look at the cost of where you are and the cost of here, the cost here is quite a bit less in most cases. Oh, God. Thailand, I've said this before, it offers you options, flexibility, a lower cost of living, and a different pace of life. And it's not going to carry you. And, you've got to have something that you bring to the table. You got to have a little bit of money. You got to have some smarts. You got to be a decent person. If you're just an asshole, you're not going to make it here until you stop being an asshole. I mean, it's that simple. So is Thailand really that hard to live in? Not really. I mean, not the way I look at it. And you can disagree with me. I don't really care because I'm not here for you. I'm not here to kiss your ass and agree with you because you think that Thailand should be so easy. Personally, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, for the Thai people, I care if they don't get as many tourists and they're not happy. But for the foreigners, hey, man, they set down the rules and the guidelines. Do what you got to do. If you can do it, hey, by all means, no problem. You'll have a great time here. And if you can't, then fuck off. Go somewhere else. Go to Cambodia or the Philippines. Go somewhere where they just need your money more than they need it here. That's the thing. Thailand maybe used to need your money. Now, while they want your money, need and want is not the same. Right? I mean, it's not. So go ahead, go to Cambodia, go to Philippines, go, to Albania, go to all these places. Go ahead. See if you like them. Maybe if you like them, absolute. Great. I'm glad you like them. And if it doesn't work out, well, then guess what? Maybe it'll work somewhere. And maybe the problem is just you. Because Thailand is not really more difficult. It's less tolerant of the bullshit now. Listen, you can go in Albania, you can stay there for a freaking year. I mean, how easy is it? But do you really want to stay there? I've heard a lot of nice things about it. I would like to go there. I don't think I can ever see myself living there. And most frustrations, they come from incorrect expectations, not the actual conditions here. And the people who succeed here are the ones who plan and they adapt and they take responsibilities for not some entitled asshole who thinks everything's got to be his way. That's the way I see it. Y'all can blame the teachers union. They care more about DEI. I don't understand that. Okay, I'm going to say right here, I don't understand it. To me, that's idiotic. Minorities hating on America, the alphabet people, they don't care about education anymore. Mostly Russians stay for more than 2 months. Well, they got to come up with the right methods of staying also. Looking, what? Where is this? Looking back to the 60s, we had our own dialogue. Not to mention regional background as Bostonian moved to Southern California. No one understood. I can stay for 2 months. Single digits stay longer than a couple of weeks. Exactly. Fact. No place should be easy. Well, not so easy that anybody can walk in, which is what it used to be like here. It's not hard, I don't think. There is easier, though, and there is harder for sure. Yeah. Thailand is super easy. Just need, this is what it comes down to. Do you have the money you need to live here? And if you don't, guess what? Then save up, get the money, and come here. That's all. That's all you got to do. Once you do that, you're going to be fine. And if you don't want to do that and you want to bitch and moan about, oh, take a hike, man. Really. It's easy to attract more filth. Lived for more than a year in 8 different countries. Jobs best with Thailand. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I've been all around the world, really, and many countries in the world. So. And this place fits me the best. I like, if I don't feel like talking to people, if I don't want to be super friendly, I don't have to be. I can be quiet and into myself, kind of an introvert. Now, believe it or not, around my friends, I don't think I'm an introvert. But if I want to be like that, if I want to sit and read a book, that's what I do. I don't have to, I don't have to think I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to go here. I don't have to do Jono told me this. You don't have to do a fucking thing if you don't want to. Now, if you've got something important to do and you don't do it, then you've got to pay the consequences if you don't get it done. That's all. We don't care about your farts. 2 quarters clear. Develop connections for the dirty dealings in Albania. The days of crossing into Cambodia to reset your visa are over. They've been over for a while. Farans often complain about Thai drivers. What I have discovered is that invisible is merely a different set of habits. All the Thais follow the same methods once you figure it out. It's easy. Knock on wood. Albania has more bunkers than any other country. Paranoid man. Okay. Kimchi farts. Gabish. Kind of introvert. Anyone here filed Thai tax returns this year? Hell no. Hell no. Not me. Anyway. Uh, I will say that sometimes I see a woman walking towards me, and I think, oh, that's a woman. Oh, she's a nice looking lady. And then she gets closer, and I see a pronounced Adam's apple. And I say, oh. Now, I don't really see that in the United States. And I got to tell you, yesterday, where were we? Oh, we were in the Bio Tower, and we were, on the floor below the revolving, and we see this guy who's dressed like he's wearing a pair of really, really short jean shorts. I don't know if it was a man or a woman, with a half top shirt. It looked like a guy, just a big guy dressed like a woman, with long hair like a lady. And we walk by him, and Nicholas is very polite. He doesn't want to mess with anybody. Same with Alex. Alex doesn't say anything, but Nicholas walks by, and I walk by the guy, and we got a little ways away, and he goes, "What the hell was that?" And I just go, "Listen, I don't even try to understand anymore." you want to be Tinkerbell, be Tinkerbell. You know, I've said it for a long time. Whatever you want to be what you want to be. I just don't want to be. Not my business. Back in the 2010s, I would walk into Hong Kong and turn around and immediately go back to Shenzhen, mainland China, to reset my tourist visa. No one said a thing. Wow. 2010s. When did I go there? It's been about 7 years. 7 years since how long was the protest? Something like that. I think it was something like that. Thais don't generally file a return, although my wife did because she's going to get money back. I think. I don't know what she says, but oh, believe me, this one was not good looking. Yeah, exactly. And you know, if that person walking, hey man, what's going on? I'd be like, hey, not much, man. And then it'd be like, you know, I gotta go with my kids. We're gonna go have dinner. I just get away. But I don't care what they do. You know, it's not a big deal. You know, for me, it's not a big deal. For some people, they'd be like, if they were like from, you know, like I don't know, Missouri or Mississippi or something. They're from some place where maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe where they are, they don't get a lot of that. Um, well, then I could see them going, you know, all right, I think I got what's going on with this here. 5%. Okay. Okay, Jim, that's nice to know. You know, you hang out with whoever you want, Jim. I'm not going to say nothing. Exactly. And, you know, I think I'm going to do a video or a live stream or something. Why I just don't give up. I just don't care. You know, hey, Jared, how you doing, man? Long time no speak. I was thinking about doing a visit. I definitely think Starbucks in Thailand should let trannies make the coffee, but it ain't my country. I don't think so. I don't want to. I don't want to do that now. Listen, I went to go see what's her name today, Beer. Billy. I saw Beer in the mall. I don't know if you know that. The other day, I was sitting there in the Guangdong Special Coffee Shop, and she walks up to me, and I'm like, surprised. So we had a little chat. She goes, I'm back with Starbucks again. I go, really? She goes, yeah, but you know. I said, well, where are you? She goes, I'm not here. She goes, I'm over on 101. So I was going to go see her, just say, hey, go have a coffee there, just to be cordial and see what she's up to. But she wasn't working. The girl goes, oh, she'll be here at 1 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, I'll come see her later. You know, whatever. Anyway, it was nice to see her. She's I don't know how old she is now. She's getting up there. I've known her a long time, man. I've known some of these girls. I've known them for like 10 years now. God, I haven't seen her in like 3 or 4 years. Anyway, if Thailand is too tough for you, then don't come here. It's really easy. Yeah, I remember. You know, there was like 4 or 5 of them, and then it was really the three. And now, I mean, listen, Pacamara is in its place. I went to another Pacamara a while back, uh, probably, I don't know how long ago, got a couple weeks, something like that. I went to a Pacamara on Nawamin Road. I think it was Nawamin. Maybe it was Romkamang. That's the thing. Yes, Jim, that's very true. You got to have an open mind here. And that's the thing about their culture. Not to act like I'm a Thai or anything, but their culture operates on harmony. They want people to live harmoniously for the most part. That's supposedly how they want, that's what they strive to live like, in harmony. Now, they don't always, but they do a hell of a lot better job than, say, in the US or the UK or somewhere else like that, where people are just going after each other for something very simple. Just treat everybody with respect, and sometimes I catch myself. I mean, like I'm driving with a guy in a motorbike, and he like is telling me, "No, I want to drop you right here," and I'm like, "No, I don't want to be dropped off right here. You're not supposed to drop me off here. You're supposed to drop me off up ahead." No, 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 and I'm like, "Yes, look at your thing." Da 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 da. Okay, I try to not lose it on them. Have you ever been to Icon Siam? Yes, several times. Here they have awesome fireworks and shit. Um, have you been here before yet, Terrence? I'm curious to know. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was asking him if he had been here before. Nah, I mean, listen, if you want to go shopping, it's great. Um, but Icon Siam is go, here's the thing. I think I went with Billy the first time, and I said I'll never be back. I'm never coming back again. Then I took a boat ride, and it just happened to let us off at Icon Siam, and I went in. Then one other time I went there because I had to get something. So I've been there 3 times, and I won't go back unless there's something I must go there for. Okay, so I've been there 4 times, and that's the thing about Thailand. There's malls everywhere, and some are a little better than others. This mall is not one of the best malls, in my opinion. It's a good mall, but it's not the best. It's not great. Well, yeah, but have you been here before? That's what I'm asking you. One thing that blew my mind moving overseas was all the delicious food. No, you haven't been here. I would say hold your thoughts. Don't just keep an open mind. And you'll probably be amazed the first time, the second time, but after a while, you'll start to see that listen, I live here now, and it's been a long time, and I don't know how I've been here this long, but I look around, and a lot of the things are just the same as another. Listen, I go home to Florida, and my mother dropped us off at this, like it's like a, like a market for the weekend, and they had vegetables and fruit and stuff like that, little stalls. We go there, and I go and get some fruit and stuff like that. Well, I can walk right down the street, and there's a market. It's there all year round, every day. I can go and get some fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. It's the same kind of stuff. It's just everything is a little bit done a little differently. The feel is a little different. I don't know how to explain it, but after a while, now it's just home. After 3 Songkrans, it's the same old. Dude, if it's only 3 for you, you got to go to some more Songkrans, buddy. Um, seriously, I've been here for 32 years, and 31, and I probably missed about 5 of them, maybe 6. I've had Songkran in Cambodia, in Laos, in Burma, in the south of Thailand, in another part of the south of Thailand, in Pattaya, in Bangkok, and the only reason I don't go now is because I don't feel like playing in the water. It's not all that much fun anymore. I've already done it, you know? Been there, done that. I've already seen the girls in wet t-shirts. And most of them, believe me, most of them, their nipples are not poking out, you know, saying hello. That's not how it works. You know. So, anyway. Kimchi and milk meatloaf. Oh, God. I would say if you're coming here for the first time, I don't know how long you're coming for. Just enjoy it. Don't even maybe for the if you're here for say I don't know how much you said you're going to be here, but if you're going to be here for a month, we'll say just take 10 days and don't even think about living here. Don't think about well maybe we could live here, maybe we could live there. Don't think like that. Just have a good time and experience it. That'd be my one of my recommendations. Don't think about living here. At the end of your trip, start thinking, okay, maybe 2 months. Okay. So, yeah, I would say take a couple of weeks and just enjoy it. At least a couple of weeks just to enjoy being here. You know, go see Chiang Mai if you can. Go to Pattaya. Hang out in Bangkok in different areas of Bangkok. Uh, you know, well, what's today? Oh, today's Sunday. Yeah, today's Sunday. So we're not really big Sunday people, but hopefully we'll get to eat something together. Um, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But usually around 4 or 5 o'clock, it starts getting close to dinner. Maybe we'll chill out and watch a movie or a show or something like that, and then we'll be okay. Um, but usually we don't do much on Sunday. That's why I stream on Sunday because we're not doing much. So in the morning, I know if I go if I go home, my kids will probably still be well. It's about 11 o'clock. Maybe one of them is woken up, the other one will be asleep, and my wife will be laying on the sofa, looking at her phone, watching some stupid cat videos or something like that. Which I don't even want to talk about the cats, what a hassle they are now. But if you're gonna get a cat, get one cat. That's it. One cat. Have them spayed and neutered, whatever it is. Just one cat. Don't get 3. To know if you will like living somewhere, you have to get way outside of the vacation honeymoon frame and let it be real life, not vacation. Well, that's true. Um, there's a big difference, a huge difference between being a tourist and being uh, an expat. Yeah, I don't. I'll tell you what. I don't like coming here at all on the weekends. I don't like it at all. I may go down to the market. I may go to macro or something like that. I may do some of that stuff. But uh, listen, I understand missing your cat and all that stuff, but it's one thing to have one cat, but to have 3 cats, it's a nightmare. Okay, I tell the wife every night, get those freaking cats out of here. every night. I don't want them sleeping where I'm sleeping. I don't want them around me. And the other day, we're sleeping, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, I hear this. They start going after each other. Two of them were going after each other right by where we were sleeping, right by the bed. And I'm like, I wanted to, oh man, I was reaching for a shoe, but I couldn't find it. I didn't have a shoe right next to the bed. I wanted to just throw a shoe at them as hard as I could because I'm sick of it. I need to sleep. I don't sleep that good as it is. I sleep 5 hours a night. If I'm lucky, I sleep 6. And then, you put the cat in the equation, meowing and then fighting. And, Anyway, it's my rant on cats, all right? Anyway, we got a new girl working here. She's very nice. That's about all I'll say. They need nice people working at coffee shops. There should be nice people, friendly people. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. At the other place, they're all friendly. Um, there's another place too that I found that's right in front of all the birds and the fish and all that stuff. Good coffee place, but at the end of it, they sell Pacamara coffee at the other place for 55 baht for an espresso, and here it's 105 baht. Exact same coffee. Most coffee is pretty much the same in Thailand. I'd say 80% of the places, the coffee's all the same. It's acceptable. It's just not that great. Because I got sick of Starbucks, and Starbucks moved. First, Starbucks moved. Second, they lost their girls that I was friends with for many years. And third, they've done so many things that have pissed me off. I mean, the water thing was ridiculous. They used to sell 550 milliliters of water for like 15 baht. Then it went up to 20 baht. Then it went up to 25 baht. Then they cut the size of the bottle down to 500 milliliters. And I'm like, and now they don't even take cash. So I'm done. I'm done with Starbucks. The only reason I'll go is to see beer because I haven't seen her in a long time. Whatever, and if I see her, I see her. If I don't see her, whatever. But anyway, that's the only reason I would go. And the one reason I went to Starbucks a couple of years ago was to get some change. I was going to buy a cookie to make change for 1,000 baht. I thought, I'll bring Nicholas a cookie. And they go, oh, we don't take cash anymore. I'm like, you know what? That's it. So anyway, that's all I have. I will talk to you guys later. Until next time, Chopi, Leo Dirk and Mike. I'll see you later. Adios.